Hello everyone. So my previous version of the ACS video was a bit outdated and I didn't know what I was doing. Now I have a lot more experience and I'm simply just remaking this. Disclaimer, I will not do any animations in this video. Now I'll make a separate video for that. So we're going to go over everything else, including the bullet cracks, whizzes, gunshot sounds, reloading sounds, configuration of guns, gun modeling, and adding attachments. So first of all, we're going to start off with getting ACS set up. So I'm just going to grab a classic base plate. You can do anything. And we're simply going to search up ACS inside the toolbox. And make sure it's by 00Scorpion00 because he is the official creator. We're going to be doing 1.7.5 for this video. Just going to pop up to this. Now we're going to go over the installation of this. We're going to open this folder. README, and it's just the basic licensing, all this, change logs, and then setup's already there. Oh, we just do these here. So for simple stuff, I'm not gonna bother with the AI. I'm not gonna bother with NVG. So we're gonna take the ACS footstep systems. We're gonna drag this down to sound service, ungroup, and I forgot this was a thing. So ungroup and starter player scripts. So we're going to drag this to starter player scripts, ungroup this. So footsteps should be in sound service. ROBLOX character sounds should be starter player scripts, starter player. Tools, we're going to drag this down to starter pack. So this will appear in our inventory. Workspace is important. You can drag this here, ungroup. You're going to need this folder, this client folder and the server folder. Breach and doors are not important unless you want to use them, so I'm just going to remove these. Replicated storage is going to be the ACS engine, so ungroup there. Ungroup and server script service. Ungroup there, that's the ACS server. Ungroup and starter character scripts, so starter player, starter character scripts, ungroup. Okay. Now we have it installed. It should work, but it won't, because what we need to do is we need to publish to ROBLOX. Why? Because we need to configure the game and change our character modeling to R6. So you go to game settings, and you go down to avatar, and you're going to do avatar type R6. Save. Yes. Now this will allow ACS to work. Alright, so now that we have installed ACS and it will work, we can go ahead and test this. Take out the USB. It should work. See, everything works. Sounds nice. Now let's say you want to take off this white dot and this GPS. We can simply remove that. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be talking about server configurations. So we're going to come over to replicated storage, ACS engine, server configs, and config. This is where we're going to have everything here. So team kill. This is pretty much if you want people to kill each other on the same team. I'm gonna leave this to true. It's just a damage multiplier. So if it's 0, then they won't take any damage. But if it's like 0.5, they'll take half the damage. Replicated bullets, I wouldn't touch that. Anti-bunny hop pretty much limits your jumping to every couple seconds. I'm gonna change this to 0.5. Jump powers, how high you jump. 50 is default. Realistic laser. So if it's false, then you'll see a laser line from the gun to the target. And then replicated laser, replicated flashlight, enable ragdoll, team tags. So that white dot you saw above my character's head, that's what this is. You can change this to false and you won't see this. Hit marker sound is at, I don't know how to replicate that sound. Core GUI health, core GUI player list. So if you remove this, and you remove the leaderboard, if you enable this. I don't really enable this at all. Enable status UI, I wouldn't mess with this. This is your running and walking speeds. Hunger, I'm going to change this to false. Can drown, I'll leave this on. Enable stamina, I'll leave that on. GPS, turn this off. Interaction menu key, it depends if you're going to include functions with this. If not, I would just change this. So if you're going to use this, then keep it. If not, I would change it to something that pretty much nobody would have access to. For example, since my game is not going to be allowed for Xbox or console players, this should be fine. So, enable med systems, this is going to be bleeding out and all that. I'm going to set this to false unless you want to deal with bleeding out and all that. Fall damage, it's self-explanatory. Do you want to take damage and falling? This is how fast you have to go, and this is how much damage you would take. This is for if you're using vehicles, and this is the max zoom. It's not going to matter though, because some vehicles have their own scripts that fixes that. So that's just the server configurations. We configure it the way we want to. Now, what if we want to configure a specific gun? Say we want to give it more ammo or less ammo. So we're going to come over to where our tools are. Let's say we want to configure the AK-74M. So we're going to open it, ACS modulo, variavize, and then we have ammo. This ammo right here, this is the magazine capacity. So we can change this to, let's say, 50. Chambered means that if you turn this off, then the gun will have to chamber ourselves when we first time equip it. Stored ammo. This is how much ammo you're gonna have, how much bullets you're carrying on your person. It's not gonna be set up as like magazines. Like it's not like 5 magazines. This is just 5 bullets. So I would honestly do. What I do is I just multiply this by how many magazines I'm gonna want. So let's say we have 10 magazines. So 50 times 10 is 500. So we're going to set the max value to 500 and the value to 500. Max value is how much ammo you can carry at max. Value is how much you start off with. You can give yourself more ammo using the ammo box, which I believe is in here somewhere, right here. Suppressor, it starts if you wanted to start with suppressor or not. I don't know what zeroing is. Animations we'll talk about later. Settings. So this is the name. You're going to want to change this if you're making new guns. So you want to make sure that when you're making new guns, you make sure that the client, server, and the tool names, as well as this right here, is all the exact same. It's capital sensitive, space sensitive as well. This is the bullet type, so if you want to change it, let's make this 50 cal because you can. Or it's not that. 50 BMG. This is the FOV. This is what the start off is when you aim down your iron sights, and this is when you press T to aim farther. Zoom animations, focus and sights, I wouldn't touch all this. Mag count. This is when you equip the gun, it shows a number next to your magazine. That's what that is. So I'm going to set this to true, keep this to true. This is the fire rate per minute. So 650 is a standard for the AK-74 RAM, but we can change this and we can make it faster or slower. So I'm going to make this absurd and set it to 1200 rounds per minute. This is how much a shot during a burst, a 3-shot burst, which is how you can change how much a shot during a burst right here. Gun type, 1 for rifle, 2 for shotgun. This pretty much is, I don't know how that works. Never mind. No, I don't know. Okay, so modes. So semi is this mode is when you start off. So it starts in auto. We can change this to burst. Change fire mode equals true. So this is all the fire modes. I'm going to enable burst. I'm also going to enable explosive. Explosive is like the M203. Yeah, the M203 and the M16, that's pretty much explosive. the grenade launcher. You move down here, auto chamber, this is for pump action, so if you're making shotguns then you can change these. Recoil, so this is, I would say, pretty low recoil for an AK. Realistic recoil would be around 30 to 40, like this, so this is the recoil. This would be a bit more realistic. Horizontal recoil is how much the recoil go left and right. So I'm just going to leave this as is. Aim recover is once you pull the trigger and recoil sets in, it will try to move back to its original position as much as it can. So if you set this to 0, then it won't move up. It won't move back to its original position. So you would have to manually move it back. Set it to 1, then it'll go back. I'm going to set it to 0. So recoil punch is how much the gun pushes back towards you. So I'm going to set this to 5 for demonstration purposes. Vertical punch is how much it goes up. Horizontal is how much it'll kick to the side. Tilt punch is useless, it doesn't do anything. Aim recoil reduction, in my experience, doesn't do anything. Punch recover, none of this appears to do anything. Recoil power step amount doesn't change anything. Minimum spread. If you want your gun to be accurate, you want to set this as close to 0 as possible. And then spread. After a long burst of shooting, it slowly spreads out for some reason. Even if you have recoil, you can change that by just setting this all to 1 or something. So I'll change this to 4. Aim and accuracy step amount. I don't know what this is for. I haven't seen any difference of this. Walk multiplayer, player speed, sway, base, all this I'm not going to touch. This is damage. So penetrations for armor, limbs damage. Realistically, your legs would be instant kill because your femoral artery exists. So we'll just put this to, let's say, 70 and 82. Torso damage is good, headshot damage is fine. Now distance, this is how much it takes before the bullet is deleted. Base drop is how much it drops every, I believe, not stud. I don't remember. Base speed is how fast it travels. I'm pretty sure this is feet per second. No, I don't think so. Okay, so, but this is still fast, pretty good. Suppressed max distance, suppressed time. So this is for bullet whizzing, I believe. No, this is bullet whizzing. So bullet whiz is like that streak you hear when a bullet passes by your head. Bullet flare, it's if you want your gun to be a flare gun. Tracer is if you want your gun to look cool. I'm gonna have green tracers. So this appears green. Light tracer emission, tracer lifetime, tracer width, tracer every shots. So random tracers means it's random. Tracers every shots means that every 5 shots one tracer appear. For every 1 shot it will be a tracer. Tracer chance 100%. Bullet light. This is if you want your bullets to have light. That's for flare. And then we have explosives. Join radius. Launcher damage. Okay, fast reload. So when you're reloading your gun, if you have this off, you would have to manually charge the handle. So I'll keep this on true. Slide lock. So that's if the bolt locks back. For example, in the AR-15, you have the bolt release. On a pistol, the slide would lock back, and you'd have to like hit a slide release. Move bolt, bolt lock. Can breach door. This is for the doors we deleted earlier. Can break, so this is if the gun jams. I'm gonna leave this on. Include chambered bullet. So this is if you're using a magazine. if it's bolt action, yeah. So anything that's with the magazine should be fine. But this means that there's a bullet in the chamber. So if you reload while you still have ammo left, it'll keep one bullet because that's the bullet that's in your chamber that you can still shoot. But the rest will disappear and the new magazine will be placed in. Chamber, this doesn't matter because we already have this right here. So this overrides this right here. So launcher ready, start with the grenade launcher ready. Set this to keep that false. Can't check magazine, so basically if you press M, your character will take out the magazine. It'll determine how much ammo is left. Arcade mode, as you can see how many bullets are left in the magazine. Rainbow mode, horrifying. Mode Trino, this is if you want to have a bit more of a realistic approach. And then holstering is a bit broken. So, but this is all the positioning. I'm not going to mess with this right now because it's a bit finicky. So now we have done with configuring the AK-74, so let's test it. Okay, I'm going to grab the AK-74M and it appears my game has changed to R15. How does that happen? R6. My character is an R15 though. That's not good. Why is my character starting in R15? It shouldn't be an R15. Hold on. Okay. Experienced the bug because my avatar thing is R6. Let me just restart the settings. Like this. Okay. Let's see if this fixes this. It should. It doesn't. Pretty sure I can just change it right here though. Or I just kill myself. Okay, it works. But now I need to turn off fall damage. Okay. I'm just gonna put a spawn in. Okay, so I think I broke Roblox Studio. Because I'm starting with R15, which I should not be. So I'm simply just going to force myself to be R6. So this should fix all the scripts. So if we test the AK-74M, you see it's no longer starting out. I can't shoot it like these ones. I have to press F, and I have to charge the bolt. And now you see that the black line in the bottom right is now a white line, which means it's chambered. Now it starts in burst. So we hold down the trigger and it bursts. You can see the green tracers. Change the bottom. Recoil is nice. Bullet smoke. Okay. Now that's how you configure a gun. Now we're going to talk about, let's say you want to add a new gun in. So if you're looking at a new gun, let's just say we're going to add this Glock 17 right here. So it should come with a client, a server, and a tool. So you're going to move the tool over to your starter pack or where you're holding like your tools. And you're going to go over to these two. Thumbnail camera is not important. You're simply going to go over to replicated storage, ACS engine, gun models. So you're going to take the client and you're going to drop this off into client. Now it appears we already have a G17, so the second step I was just saying earlier for naming guns. So we're going to change this to Glock 17. We're also going to come over here, I'm going to change this to Glock 17. And we're going to move this one to server. So that's all the models done. Now I have to go to the tool. Settings, I'm going to change this right here to Glock 17. And we have to change the tool name to Glock 17. So that's 4 separate things you have to rename. It's gonna make me have to manually set my character into R6. Yeah, alright. Not fun. So now that we've added a new gun, we're simply gonna find it in our inventory right here. So it should show up properly. There we go. 20 bullet sounds. Now, let's say we want to add a red dot to this, because why not? So we're going to discuss about adding attachments. So we're going to add attachments to, what's a good gun to start with attachments? Let's do the HK416. We're going to make this into a modded gun. So now, you want to add attachments. You can either make your own attachments, or you can just search up ACS attachments. I'm too lazy to grab my own attachments. So let's say we want to put, we're going to put, what is this? We're going to put an ACOG on this as a secondary site. So we're going to grab this thing. I'm going to show you how to add a secondary site. Add a laser system and a light. If I can find a light. I don't think there's a light included, so we'll just take this one instead. And then we're going to add, we need a main thing. Here we'll add this. So we're going to add these 3 attachments to our HK416. So we're going to put this near the spawn. Now, in order to access the actual model, we're going to have to go back into ACS engine, gun models. We're going to start off with a client. So let's say I want to make a modified version of this. So we're going to duplicate this and drag this up right here. Press Control F, or I think it's just F. Yeah, just press F and it'll bring it to you, and you can just drag it over here. Or if it's pretty far away, you know, for like dragging it, you can just copy the attachment's original position, bring it over here, and just Control V, and it'll bring it right to it. Okay, so let's talk about modeling this gun. So I don't really like this blue color, so we can go into the model, and we can change this. So camo, we can change this to a nicer pink. Now if it's not going to show, you can scroll down here to where it says use part color, and that will override the original color like that. Detail, I will make this, let's make this green. Okay, HG, I'm pretty sure this is that. What is this? I'm assuming that's handguard. Should change this to a nice cyan color. This is horrifying. Okay, magazine. We're gonna just change this color. You can also, I'm gonna show you how to make a drum magazine easily. After I add these attachments, rail. Let's try and match this color right here. Rail. Use part color. Receiver. Yeah, I'm just gonna color this all sorts of horrifying. This is a Lego gun now. Right. So, how do we add attachments to a gun? Simple. So you're gonna come down to these. These are a bit sided. Hold on, let me fix all this. Is this orientated the right way? Okay, so this is fine. This one's orientated off. There we go. That fixes that orientation. fixes that orientation. So we're gonna go ahead and start adding our attachments in. So we're gonna start off with this EOTech. You want to position it on the rails like this. This area is fine, don't question my positioning. There we go. Next we have the RMR, which is a side attachment. We're gonna rotate this around so it's okay. Rotate this around. So this thing, this RMR is going to come with an aim part too. If you notice in the HK, there's an aim part right here. So this is what you first see when you aim down the sights. Aim part 2 is when you press T, it's going to change to that. So we're going to simply add this on. It's not letting me move it. What? Hey, Studio is just being all sorts of wompy now. We're just gonna add this to the Picatinny railing system. Okay. So once you've added all of your attachments to your gun, you're gonna drag all these attachments into the gun. Like this. And you're just gonna ungroup it all in here. Did this thing come with its own light attachment? Or laser attachment? No. Okay. So to line up the aim part with the EOTech, you can simply just take the projector sight, copy its position, go over to aim part, paste. This will bring it to its position, and we just simply bring this back. Now, this is the model technically done, but if we want to add functionality to the lights and to the laser, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add 2 bricks. I don't remember precisely, I'm going to go look. So we need to add a flash point and a laser point. I'm just gonna control copy this. Actually, no. Alright, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to place down a brick. And for now we're gonna keep it visible, and you're gonna scale it down to about a small block. Like this. And you're gonna move this to where the flashlight would be and where the laser would be. Now laser is gonna copy the color of the brick, so we're gonna make the laser red. We're gonna name this laser point. I believe that is the name. Yes. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this transparency to 1. And we're going to drag this inside the HK416. Did I copy this? Yeah, I did. Okay. We're also going to change the name of the model, because we already have an HK416. So we're going to call this HK416 Cursed. Okay, this final point for the flashlight, we're going to have to add a light. So we're going to use a spotlight, and then we're going to come here and we're going to have to rename it to light. You can also just change the name down here and name. Now we're going to set up this light. So we need to figure out which way it's facing. Change the brightness temporarily. Okay, so it's facing front. We're going to make it face back towards the front of the gun. Make its range 60. I would recommend going into lighting down to technology and using future, because it makes the lighting, well, futuristic. Okay, so we're going to configure the lighting, we're going to change the angle to 45, and that's the light. We're gonna make it disabled, and we're gonna name this light point. I believe that's what they call it. Let me double check. Flashpoint. Okay, it's called flashpoint. My apologies. Alright, now we're gonna move our flashpoint into the gun. Alright, so this is the client model of the gun done. How do we do the server model? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the server and we're gonna copy the gun. We're gonna duplicate it and we're gonna put it into the workspace. Copy orientation, and paste right here. So what we can do is, what we can actually do is we can just delete all of this. Everything except for the silenciador. Silencer, this is the silencer, we don't want to delete that. And we don't want to delete the grip, that's important. Now we're going to come over here, we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to put an S, the name. This is going to stand for server, so we don't accidentally put these in the wrong positioning. I forgot to make the flashpoint transparency to 1. Make sure you don't forget to do that either. Okay, so now we have our two models. This is the server model. What we're going to do is we're going to come to bolt, we're going to delete these sounds. We're going to come to aim part, we're going to delete the aim part, we're going to delete the aim part 2, then we're going to delete the chamber, we're going to delete the flash point, we're going to delete the handle, we're going to delete the laser point. What is this? These are attachments. We're going to delete the projector sights, and we're going to delete the smoke part. So we should just have the default thing. We already have a silencer on this model, so actually we don't need the silencer. We're going to take this grip, and you're going to position it so it's in the trigger guard. Make sure it's centralized. And there you go. Now you're going to drag the grip into here. And you delete this because it's no longer needed. Alright, now we have our two models. Let's say you want to change the sound. So I'm going to go over to audio. Let's say we want to change the gunshot, because right now the gunshot sounds plain. So we're going to come over to the server model and go down to grip and where it says fire. Now you're going to find a decent gunshot sound. We'll do this one. Copy acid ID, go into fire, Control V it into the sound ID. Now it should sound better. This is the echo gunshot sound, so if you're far away and you're going to hear like the distant gunfire sound, you can change this to something that's more realistic. For example, this sounds better than what it formerly was. Okay, well I don't remember. Okay, so this is what's going to sound like from far away. Suppressor is what it sounds like when it's suppressed. We can also just change that. What I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to use the same ID, like this. Like that, there you go. Muzzle. So in the grip, you're going to move this here to where the muzzle is. And this is important for the flash. Alright. So that's the gunshot sounds. What if you want to change the sound of the bolt? So you're going to come down here to the client model, bolt, and this is where your sounds are. So slide pull, slide release. This is where you would change it. You would put the sound IDs here. If you want to change the sound of the trigger, you would come over to handle, and this is all your sounds right here. Click is the trigger click. Safety is like changing safeties, like changing from semi to full auto. This is the sounds of the magazines. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to drag our HK416 cursed without the S into the client, because it's a client model. Okay, we're going to take this, we're going to remove this S, and we're going to drag this into our server. We're not done adding the new gun, or adding attachments. Now we need to go into server storage, or no, where your gun is, and we're simply just going to duplicate this, name this cursed. Come over here, ACS modules, variables, settings, HK416 cursed. I forgot to show you how to make a drum magazine. We can do that in the second video when we make a more professional gun. So Leroy, go ahead and run and test this. I did not even check if the gun models were anchored. Of course, I start in R15 because my Roblox studio decided it's going to be broken today. I dislike that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and find our horrifying looking gun. HK416 curved. There it is. I am still in R15. I am actually going to develop a stroke. Please, place me in R6. Why is this going to be so difficult with me? What is making it change me to R6? Oh my god. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm simply just gonna save and restart studios. Okay, yep, okay, so here's how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna publish to Roblox. Exit. Go back into Roblox. Open this. Let me go to game settings and make sure it's fine. Okay, R6. Please don't be broken, otherwise I would be disappointed. Oh goody, it worked this time. Okay, let's test it. So, that second aim part I was talking about, if you press T, look, you aim on that now. Pretty cool. Here's gunshot sounds, the custom gunshot sounds right there. And then here's the suppressor, you press U. Reloading. H is for the laser. J is for the flashlight. It shows it's on, but I don't believe it's on. Oh, that's because I forgot two things. What we need to do is we need to go into the model's server model, and we need to go to that HK416 cursed. So what we need to do is we need to go into the grip. So we're missing two attachments. So I'm going to drag this back out, and we're going to go into grip. And you're press this plus, and you're going to add an attachment. And we're going to duplicate this. We're going to name this attachment. Let me scroll down, hold on. So okay, so it's just flash. This is for the laser. No, for the flashlight. I'm an idiot. Laser. There we go. Now we're gonna move these to their correct positioning. Okay. That's all we need to do. You can just drag this back in. So it should work now. Alright. Let's say we want to configure the bullet crack sounds. Well, this is a bit complicated because there's actually 4 areas we need to do. What we can actually do is we can find one by going to Modules, Hit Marker, and we just simply copy this. We exit here, we press Control Shift F. This is to find all, replace all in scripts. Control V in here. This is going to show us 4 locations. So this first location is going to be an ACS client. This is, okay, so this is going to be in starter player, starter character, SOD, ACS client. That's going to be line 906. So these are going to be your bullet whiz sounds. These are the IDs. So you're going to change these IDs. This one's going to be in MedSys FX right here. Whoops. So it's going to be line 6. Okay, next one is ACS server. So you're going to come over to server script service, ACS server. It's going to be lines 21 to 29. Here's your impact sounds right here. These are explosion sounds. Here's the bullet cracks, hits, which is when it hits a player. This is the bullet whiz. This final location is ACS. Oh, this is the hit marker one. This isn't the hit marker. So impacts, explosions, cracks, hits, player hits, whiz. You can change all these. I'm not going to because that's about 4 things I don't have to change. Now that is pretty much it. we have added our own custom guns. We've added attachments. Now you have configured ACS. Second part, I'm gonna figure out how animations work, and we're gonna make a more professional gun. I already have an ACS pack set up for myself, which is right here. It's not public yet, but I'm working on it still. But these it's a very professional. I can tell you right now, it's very good. I don't know how long I've been working on it, but like, here's some of the guns. Yeah, it looks nice. It has a 50 BMG. Where is the thing? We're all spaced all over the place. But once I finish this up, I'm gonna go ahead and release this so that you guys have access to this. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, post them out in the comment section. I should respond within a couple hours. If it's over 8 hours, it's probably when I'm asleep, so, but don't worry, I'll definitely respond. Subscribe for part 2, when we go over the animations and professional gun modeling, where we're going to actually make our own gun. We're not going to use a copy or somebody else's. Alright.